I should
Because
stream
as
this.
soon as you go ahead.
I should start streaming from a business page so we can track metrics and do stuff with these recordings. I should record them while we do them too.
Yeah. Then you'll have these giant files and it'll eat all your computer
No,
stuff.
they
Oh, they're
live.
live now. I just got a notification.
Yeah, there. I'm recording this
Hi,
too because
everybody.
they live online. Hi. Welcome to episode 20 of the Rachel and Cassandra show at our new same time, new day because of bandwidth.
Yes, I'm
issues.
sorry. I got kids at home. The whole neighborhood's trying to stream Google Meets and Google Classroom and Zoom meetings, and
This actually works well
it's
for me
not.
too because Anna has class on Thursday mornings at the same time that we do this. So this should, I mean, hopefully it works for everybody's schedule. Maybe we'll pick up some new viewers.
Maybe.
But so for those of
Or we'll lose
you
them all.
who have no, that's all right. I still got you and I have fun even if
I
nobody
know.
watches. And I always learn something from you. So I feel like it makes me better at my trade. But
I always learn something too.
before I learn something from you, we can't skip our cover your ass language, which is this. I am not an attorney and I am not a financial advisor. And a lot of the things I say might sound like financial advice or legal advice, and I promise you they're not. I'm a real estate professional in Southeast Michigan, and that's where my opinions come from. How about you, Cassandra?
I'm not a realtor. I'm not I'm
Duh.
not a financial advisor, and I'm not a lawyer. Despite what I say, we're both licensed in the state of Michigan. I'm in Southwest Michigan and can answer any of the mortgage questions. I am totally licensed and endorsed to answer any mortgage questions and help with that, but I'm not a lawyer.
That's right. So you are welcome to join this call. I always forget to do this bit. So 9 times out of 10, this ends up just being me and Cassandra, but we're trying to have this be as an open forum. So if you are another professional in the industry or in a parallel industry, or you just have an opinion or a question about real estate, you feel like you have something to contribute, the Zoom ID to get on this call is 221-168-7580. So hop on, or you can get rowdy in the comments. We try and keep our eyes on those too. But our topics
Rachel
today,
does. I do not.
I try
Just so
to.
you know.
I don't always do a great job. So, I mean,
I don't
I rule
look ever. I literally never look.
after the fact. You got to, right? I know I have a
Yeah.
bad habit of like seeing comments and being like, oh, I'll post that answer in the comments when we're done. And then I fucking forget. Don't take that shit from me. Feel free to call me out. Remind me.
Just keep typing Rachel, and she'll never reply. So
like the memes, right? With the cats.
The cat.
The cat.
Yeah, cat hand.
I like that. Okay, so we have like real topics. So our topic today is these two annoying acronyms. Well, okay, fear of missing out, FOMO, right? We've all heard that and how that shows up in real estate. We're seeing a lot of it, and it's making people behave really weirdly. And then there's also fear of paying too much, and those two dynamic. I know somebody else. These are somebody else's pieces of language, and I'm horrible about knowing for sure where I pick shit up, right? Like I just go through life with this big net. It's like a butterfly net, and I just catch shit and I take it and make it my own, but I don't remember where I pick it up, where I read it, and I consume so much that it.
So thank you to whoever gave her.
Yeah, the
FOMO or something.
Foptum. Can we inject a
Foptum?
Foptum? It's kind of like fuck 'em. I want to put a vowel in there.
Anyway, so talk about it.
Foptum. Oh, it's all just theory about, okay, so the fear of missing out bit, we see that a lot on the buyer side, and the results are, oh my God, I don't even know where to start. If you're trying to buy a house right now, for the most part, it fucking sucks for you because there is no inventory like anywhere. In all of my national groups, everybody's having an inventory shortage. Like it's the lowest it's been. Historic lows, like just like not to be like but it's fucking historic lows in inventory. Yes.
Can I side comment on the reason why?
Yes, I would love to because
Okay.
I
So the general
I think
reasons
people
why
need to know.
housing is low.
There are a couple
Okay.
of them.
So housing starts were finally starting to ramp up in the
What
spring.
is
We're
housing
in
starts?
Michigan. They don't
Talk.
build in the winter.
Housing
Uh,
starts as new builds, breaking ground on a new home. You didn't
I was
say that.
getting there.
All you
I was
said is
getting
housing
there, but you were
starts.
talking over me. You were just like, boy,
Blah,
I got to
blah,
finish.
blah,
That's
blah, blah.
fine. Finish my
Yeah.
sentence. Housing starts are down, which means builders aren't starting to break land on new houses. They were going to, and then COVID hit in the spring, and it basically halted. So, and this was after years of a pretty low building start. The cost to build a new home is very high, um, relative, right? Relatively speaking, it's pretty high. You're probably not going to get a brand new home for under $200,000 unless it doesn't have a basement, it doesn't have a garage, and we know that nobody buys that. So there's one
So,
part of it. We're not building as many. Let me. Do you have any? Go ahead.
oh, I so do, but go ahead, keep going. I'm gonna let you
Okay, so
finish.
the house that builders aren't building as many. Millennials are buying finally, right? They're a huge group and they're hitting 30 and they're trying to buy, so they're competing for housing. And then one of the other ones is, oh my God, how did I miss it? What is it? I just had it and I lost it. Um, oh, in Michigan, 71% of people like own their own home, and there's like 29% renters. So we're already among the higher states of people owning their homes, and because there aren't nearly as many homes to buy, people are not selling their homes either, and they can't move out of moving out of state. People who would normally sell and move to Florida and stuff because of COVID, that's dropped as well. So those homes that normally open up, and then we talk about builders and entry grade and all that jazz. But go ahead anyway.
Well, just to kind of supplement what you already said, you also have a scenario where, and I mean, how far back can we go? But let's just like take a quick glimpse back. And I'm going to use myself as an example. I bought my house in 2012. The value of my house today, I don't think I could afford it. My interest rate is really low. So I'm in a situation where if I were going to sell my house in order to upgrade, I couldn't. Like I would pay more for less of a house. And there are so many people in the same situation because if you look back at how much inventory there was in 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13,
Yeah,
14, like there was so many foreclosures. Houses where you could buy a house for, I don't want to say pennies on the dollar, but boy, significant reductions in price. So,
we bought a
as
foreclosure in 2010.
yeah, so as people were coming out of their bankruptcies and foreclosures and being newly able to buy a home, a lot of people who lost their homes were able to buy homes for, finally with good interest rates for not a lot of money. So the good news for people like myself is I've been able to, watch the value of my asset improve. But the bad news for people like me is it's going to be really rough for me I could sell my house and cash out, but I would have to move into a smaller house and there aren't any for me to buy. Do you know what I mean? Like I'd have to. So the people who would sell because they want to, because they feel like it, are, I think, less likely to do it. You know what I mean? Like you're seeing a lot more people
Yeah.
stay in their
So
homes
the
and do
people who
improvements.
just go, oh, I'm sick of my house. I want a different house. Let's just change. There, people get bored with stuff. I get
Yeah.
bored with stuff. This is why people paint and move furniture.
Hmm.
Laura Evers.
Hmm.
Um,
This,
but
see this room I'm in?
yeah,
This used to
the
be a
purple one,
bedroom.
it wasn't. Yeah, but like so, people who whimsically move often, and I say whimsically, they move in the same
But
school
they're not
district. It's
getting a
just they want a different house,
relocation.
different.
Not a
Exactly.
relocation. You're not moving to take care of your dying parents. You're not like it's literally an option. Those options have like diminished.
People aren't doing it. Yeah, people aren't like, oh, I'm going to move a couple blocks away, same school district. There's way fewer, and the ones that can do that have the money to do have the money to do that. They're definitely probably third or fourth time home buyers, right? And all you first time home buyers, this is one of the reasons it's super important to get a realtor. Like, you have to put together a compelling offer. And I've seen some really phenomenal language with good realtors. Rachel's one of them. And I can name drop other ones depending on the region, but there's some critical language in there that will get your offer accepted over somebody else. So if you put out like 5, 6, 7 bids and just like, no, 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 you might want to interview other realtors, because it is possible. Anyway.
Or, and in defense of some of those realtors, because at the end of the day, I am going to back my client's play. Well, I think it's important to say this because another element, I mean, I've never had a client lose 5, 6, 7 bids. It's just not, I would fire my client first because I know I write good offers. I say that in a very arrogant and flip way, and I don't mean it that way. I'm saying it to get to the point of, if that is you as a buyer, you may want to evaluate or reevaluate your strategy. Are you trying to get a deal on a house, or are you trying to buy a house, right? And you also may want to just look in a little bit lower price range so you can be more competitive. Your agent should be having these conversations with you, but I guess there are a lot of good agents out there whose hands are tied by ultimately backing their client's play, because I've been in that position before.
So can I do this?
Can I I want to just throw in this one other piece, which is back to your point about the agent matters. You know, I don't know. You know, I get so reluctant because I don't want people to misinterpret what I'm saying, but I can't tell you how many bids I've won by working my relationships with other agents, because, you know, I don't know, if your agent is a piece of shit and has a reputation for being a snaky douchebag.
How would you know that?
And you're a competitive offer experience. I mean, I know who to.
But
as a consumer?
Here's the thing.
You mean as a consumer?
I know you know, but say I'm moving to town and I pick up the phone and go, they have lots of advertising. Like, you wouldn't know.
No, you're right. You wouldn't. Ask
other
around.
Than reviews.
Yeah, but I mean, like shitty agents. Listen, reviews can be manipulated. I could get people to go review me fraudulently.
I know.
I could only ask actually, I do only ask my satisfied clients to review me. My stock review request is, will you please give me a review? The livelihood of my business depends on it. If you are not satisfied, would you please send me a scathing email instead? Like, I don't want a negative review. In fact, I'm terrible about asking for them. I think it's been a year, maybe 4 months.
I've been told, I do it like every couple months. Okay, so, but I can tangent with you all day. Okay, so we're going back to FOMO.
Go back.
We're going back to fear of paying too much.
So yes.
I have a thing to say about fear of paying too much. People are like, they want to get a deal, right? So I am currently shopping for flights during Christmas holiday.
Yeah.
There are only so many days, and this is the cost of the flight if I want it. And it doesn't, to some degree, it doesn't matter where I fucking go. If I want to go somewhere warm and there's 5 places and I want to fly direct, right? You have your circles of home ownership. Warm, fly direct out of Detroit.
Yeah.
There's only a few options, and the pricing on all of them sucks compared to a week before, right? My travel time when everybody's there, and a week, in mid-January. So at some point you have to go, I know my location, right? I know my desire. Yeah, but can I get exactly? I know my location. I know my desire. Holy fuck, is it expensive? Alternatively, I can change the dates I travel and save money. So at some point, all 3 do not come together, whether you're buying a house or you're trying to take a trip, when the rest of the world is taking a trip.
I changed it to an airplane. Hold on. Let me get it. I changed it to an airplane. So you got your location, which is where you're going. Ooh, the amount you want to pay, and the style of house. This is real estate. You pick 2. You have a say in 2 of these things. The third one will always be decided for you. So you can pick where you want to live and how much you want to pay. Whoop. And the style of house will be automatically determined by those two other things.
Like, oh, that you're getting 500 square feet condo, you're not
And
getting a 2,000 square foot house or
And
whatever. I mean,
let me elaborate. This is one of my favorite tools with my clients because it helps for buyer mindset and seller mindset. Because as a seller, your location and style of house can't be moved. So those two things are going to determine the value or price of your house. And by style of home, I have to elaborate a little bit because that includes like floor plan. Is it is it a ranch? Is it a colonial? Does it have a basement? Does it have outbuildings? And also condition, right? Like condition is part of the style of home circle.
sure.
And I promise you, I can find you your dream home
Turnkey,
where you want
HGTV.
it to be, and it's going to cost more than you want to spend. It's just how it is. Or we can hit your price point and we can be right where you want, and the house
Oh,
style is going to be a little bit off.
can I tell you how this equates in financing, the three
Yes.
circles? And I've
Yes.
never written it down, but I get people who want
Let's
to,
invent
let's
it.
say, refinance,
Yes.
right? And they want it to cost nothing.
Yes.
They don't want to increase the loan amount, right? They don't want to bring any money out of pocket.
I'm
They
drawing
don't
this.
want
Hold
to
on.
increase the loan amount and want the lowest rate possible. You can't
So,
have all three. I cannot give you a 0% rate for no money without you bringing money to the table, right?
so
Like
what is
keep your
the
loan,
third thing?
like, so there's the money out of pocket, the lowest interest rate possible, and in refinance, keeping the loan amount exactly where the current balance is. Like,
Okay. Yeah. So
I owe
people want to
$100,000.
people
My
want to
loan
take
will
out
be
their people
$100,000.
just want to take out the equity like they're going to a safe and pulling cash out of a box. So I would say, would that work? So you got interest rate as the percentage, you've got
Yep,
the out of pocket
money
fee,
out of
and
pocket
the balance on the mortgage. I
and the
don't know
loan balance.
what
Yes,
image works for, oh, scale? No, scale wouldn't work. Oh,
I
I
don't
know.
know.
How about this image? Oh, it's going to look like I'm afraid it's going to look
A
like a
butt.
penis. No, I was trying to draw a
Go
thermometer.
on.
I know. As long
I'm
as I don't,
waiting.
as long as I don't put two balls on there. It's supposed to be a thermometer.
It looks like hairy balls. So, but
Okay, so
from
in your
here,
loan
it's kind
world,
of
it's
grainy.
hairy balls, money, and percentages.
Yes,
We're going to call
definitely.
that
But
the hairy balls mortgage theory, refi theory.
I mean, and some of it's the same with the purchase. I want to put down as little as
Yes.
possible. I want the lowest rate. Oh, my favorite is I want the lowest rate and no PMI, and I want zero down payment, and I want to bring nothing to the table. Don't we all?
Yes.
Just don't we all?
Well, and for the
Come
house
on.
thing, it's I want the dream house that, and
Yes,
everybody says they're not afraid of a little bit of work. They want a little bit of a fixer upper,
that's a lie.
but just cosmetic. So bullshit, and you're going to pay for it because if it's just cosmetic, first of all, I call bullshit because I can't tell you how many houses I've showed with gorgeous 70s wallpaper and people go, "Oh, I don't know, that's fucking ugly." And they run. And I'm like, "The house is fucking
It's just
beautiful, floor
wallpaper.
plan, location, structurally sound," and they don't pull the trigger. But in their mind when they go shopping, they think, I don't know, that it's all psychology, and it starts to
Is
sound like I'm
carpet too much? Is
yeah.
even
So
carpeting or flooring, because that's totally cosmetic.
yeah,
But
listen, it what people think they want and what actually happens when you're out in the field is disconnected. So this is why I make my buyers rate their house on a scale of 1 to 10, and you can't pick 7 because it helps me understand the true truth of what you're looking for, and it'll help you understand whether or not you need to spend another minute trying to convince yourself to buy the fucker. Because what buyers do is they walk into a house and they start trying to figure out how they could make it work. And then they, like somewhere in there, they're going like, well, I could make it work, but this is a little bit too small. And I wish it had a garage, but for this price. And then they're fucking stuck in a trap. And
okay, but this
they
is
end up
the
at 7.
opposite of FOMO.
No.
So now
Okay.
we're doing the opposite of FOMO.
No. Well, okay. Remind me to come back to Aaron Dunham's comment. Okay. And Jill just popped up with a comment. So the FOMO piece is when there's no inventory, buyers, I'm going to wait for you to come back. Okay. So when there's no inventory, especially buyers go, I got to buy a house. And if I don't buy this one, someone else is, and there's not going to be anything for me to buy. So fear of missing out. So part of my job is to stand firm with my clients, and I use language to help keep them grounded. Like, I don't know, if you're spending $250,000 on this house, let's make sure it's the right one. Because saying $250,000 to somebody makes their mind go, she's right. That's a lot of fucking money, right? Because they'll get down a
It's
rabbit
a lot of
trail
money to
thinking,
rent a place and not really
dude,
own an asset, according to you. But
right,
that was a few
right.
shows ago.
Yeah, and I mean, I see what you're doing and being funny, but I think this is serious because what buyers will do is talk themselves into a property that they really don't like, but they're scared that they're not going to get a fucking house. So there's your FOMO. And then on the other side, if you have tons of inventory, buyers get fear of paying too much. They're like, well, I could get this one for cheaper, so I don't want to buy this. Like, it gets so hard to just fucking land and take the action because it's such a big bell to try and unring, right? So
There are
anyway,
people who freeze up trying to buy an office chair.
I'm one of
I mean,
them.
at some point,
I
oh,
am I am like I it's hard for me to spend money, even if it's money I'm borrowing.
what about on clothes?
No, okay, but I'll drop $1,000 on a beautiful dress that I'm going to wear one time, and I'll have it fucking tailored and bring it home in my luggage from Iceland. But you guys, it's a beautiful fucking dress. It makes sense to me.
Can we wear dresses on our next one? You got to wear the dress. Okay, so go back to Aaron's comment. You said there
Yeah,
was a
so
comment.
Aaron, and if you're still there, Aaron, if you could elaborate, because I don't know what a menu closing is, but so Aaron says menu closing, a form of four-square negotiating. And I think that comment was in relation to the Harry Balls diagram, forever now known as.
Hairy balls. Just
I could
write
open
hairy
it,
balls on it.
and I could open a tab and Google it. Cassandra, do you have a screen where you could Google menu closing?
I did it, and it's like, is there a way to stop a menu from closing when you click on it? It's like internet power,
Menu,
like
type
stuff.
four-square negotiating. Oh, he says, yes, it is the Harry Balls analogy. Give them the option. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah,
when you put it in front of people and say pick two, it actually makes it easier. I feel like, as humans, we get overwhelmed with too many, um, what are they
that's
called?
why I shop at
Variables.
Aldi,
Too many variables. It's like, have you been in the shampoo or cereal aisle? Holy fuck.
dude.
Like, I don't even want to pick. Just give me two. Just say, do you want the blue bottle or the red bottle? Oh, pills. Do you want the blue pill or the red pill? Anyway,
What do they do?
I know.
Yes,
We're talking about shampoo, Cassandra. God. Okay.
but if people
So,
just have to pick two, which
what?
one do you think is
So,
going to
no,
be
no.
left by the wayside most of the time?
So it varies, but when I show people the diagram, especially when we're in a house that they're feeling like is a contender, we can go back to that. And then they can go, okay, this for sure is where I want to be, and this is the right price. So then I can, now that I have some context because we're not operating in a vacuum, then I can say, okay, these antiquated kitchen countertops are not that big of a deal because I'm getting these other two big needs met. And for this price in this location, I'm willing to deal with these stupid burgundy countertops and carpet, which I might
Are
still
you
have
talking
in
about
my
your
own.
house?
I know I am. Yes,
Yes,
I am.
burgundy
So,
countertops.
and I also want to acknowledge Jill because I agree with her. So Jill Bernard in the comments says, I blame HGTV. People just want to pack a suitcase and move in. And that's true. And so, and all of my clients watch HGTV home shows and they want to talk
Who
about them with
doesn't?
me, which is me, because that's like going to work. I don't want to watch people work when I'm not working. And it's not real because, boy, what I would really like to do with my clients is take them through three houses, one that meets. Oh, you don't think HGTV is doing that? They're taking you through
They
three
do.
houses.
You're
I will take you
literally
through.
describing.
Li-
Go ahead.
Listen, well, so if that's how real estate worked, if you're a buyer and I said, okay, we're going to find your dream, the exact style of house for the what in the right location, and then I'm going to show you the price tag. And what HGTV does with some of their shows, or at least the one I'm thinking of, is they will show you these two circles and you'll see how the location is wrong. I'll show you the perfect house at the right price in the wrong location. I'll show you the perfect, I need my circles. I'll show you the perfect location and the right style at the wrong price. Anyway, I can do two out of the three, only show you three homes and make you pick one. Do you know how much easier my life would be? But no, what I have to do is take you through every fucking house in your price range so that you can have context to recognize the one you want when you get there. You look so bored, Cassandra. You're like,
Well, no, I'm mentally thinking of the HGTV show with Property Brothers, where they take them to the perfect house and they say,
yes,
"This is the house," and they're like, "Yes," and they're like, "And it's $1.3 million," and they're like,
yeah,
"Our budget's 700,000." Okay,
yes,
then let's do a renovation. And I did want to talk about renovation loans. They're super hard to find. MISTA, the state of
yes,
Michigan, is trying, and there's a lot of communities actually that are trying to get on the books renovation and rehab loans because
mhm,
and down payment assistance to go with them, because they feel like the only way the existing housing inventory is going to be purchased by homeowners instead of landlords,
yes,
and I could go on,
yes.
but the only way
Oh,
it's
that's
going
a
to be
good
purchased by
topic.
a homeowner instead of a landlord and be taken care of so that it's a house somebody wants to live in
Yes,
forever and make their home and fucking mow the lawn on and put a garden in back and become a community of
yes,
folks, is with a renovation loan, because we have 100-year-old homes. Nobody wants to, I mean, everybody loves to watch that cute little blonde girl go into Detroit and drop $8 million on one of those 1920 gorgeous brick homes that's
right.
falling apart. And
But nobody
Jen
wants to
should
take on
probably
the
be on this.
problems.
Nobody
Yeah.
wants to do it. Yeah,
Nobody
so
wants
they're
to take on
trying
the
to
problems.
find,
Yeah.
yeah, they're trying to figure out a way to not, I mean, there's crowdsourced funding on investment properties, but they're
Yeah.
building new because the cost of renovating existing. So they're trying to figure out,
The
I
balance.
mean, we could talk about the cost of the trades and how nobody's going
Oh my
into
God.
the trades. Everybody would rather graduate with $150,000 in student loan debt than a degree that means nothing versus going to be an electrician or a carpenter and make
And
good money.
that's
We
the
talk about
narrative. I
unions,
mean,
and I
it's
mean,
gonna take a while for that narrative to change as a culture. It's already
mm-hmm,
happening, but yes, absolutely. This is why, I mean, fuck. This is not meant as a shameless plug, but Mark, my fake husband, used to fix shit for my clients because it's so expensive to get a trade. So much
yeah.
so that he opened a business around it, like filling a vacuum. He's constantly busy doing, because you can't fucking get a plumber to come out and swap out your
No.
toilet. And if you don't know how
Oh,
to do
you
it,
can, but you will pay
first you will,
heavily.
and you
Oh,
will
do you want to
wait.
talk
Good
about,
luck getting him on the schedule if he's worth a shit, because he's out building new houses, which is way easier than coming to your already gross, disgusting bathroom with
dude?
all your shit in it and
And,
taking
oh,
out your
and you
toilet.
sitting there, remember, Dad, there's three
Oh,
prices.
yes.
You have a price for me to do the work with you
Yep.
there, a price for me to do the work without you there,
While
and
you
a very,
watch,
very expensive price while you watch and
if
ask me
you help.
questions. That's a
Yeah.
totally separate, yeah, if you
Yep.
want to help. But
If you're not
so
there,
we had
you
trouble
watch it.
getting a
And if you're helping.
drywaller
Oh God, they're
when
the
we had,
worst.
but we literally had a tree crash through our roof.
Yeah.
And the only reason I got the guy is because I know the guy who gave me, I
Yes.
promised to not be there, and it was
Yes.
insurance money that paid him,
Yes.
and they paid them kindly. Like the insurance company knew, like
And
they're
and
going to charge
some
a
jobs
day to come do this work.
and
But
some jobs like to like one, okay, let's use drywall as an example. And then I'm going to come back because um Aaron put up a diagram, so I'm going to share that. But I'll just, can you hold that thought?
yes,
So with the drywall as an example, so you had damage to your home, you wanted the guy to come fix it, the drywall guy, you don't want a hack, you don't want it to look like shit,
no,
believe me, because I had
I
a
can
shit
do that.
nightmare. Yes. So you want it to be good, and drywall's a shit job that nobody wants to do. So the guy who's good at drywall, if you don't think he's doing new build jobs with no homeowner breathing down her neck and trying to dicker with him about fucking $10, or standing there going, well, I could do the, for as an example, I can tape and mud, I just don't want to sand, so will you come do the part that I don't want to do, and I want, because I'm doing all that work for you, I want your job to be cheaper. So like I hear on the word on the street is, guys who can do shit like that won't leave their fucking house for less than $500. And I don't blame them.
Yeah,
Why would they?
I
You
don't
got to
blame them.
pack up your
What?
tools, drive over to
When
your
did
house,
it
unload
become?
our tools
So going back to
for 20
HGTV, I have
minutes of
another
work.
thing too, but
Yeah.
At what point did we stop respecting people's
Time.
professional
Yes.
ability
Amen.
to do the work? At
I
what
can tell you.
point did we go, well, I could drywall, fucking hire somebody? At
I
what
can tell
point
you.
did
I
we
can
think
tell
we could
you.
do plumbing?
I can tell
YouTube?
you
Go ahead.
because so this I've been using this analogy for years, and I run into it a lot in my business. A real estate agent, real estate professionals, and let me just make a distinction between an agent and a professional, because as I've said before, a monkey can get a real estate license, especially in Michigan, and then they're licensed, and you're an agent, but it doesn't mean you're a professional. I'm a professional. This is all I do. I make it my business. So, oh, that's kind of punny. Anyway, um, where am I going with this? It
You
completely
just got lost in
evaporated.
your own head.
I
Where
did.
did we stop
Ah,
respecting people's?
okay.
Okay.
People, and this comes to light because people, uh, again, I'm worried about offending people. People want to sell their house by owner all the time, and you can totally do it. There is I could tile my kitchen floor. I could watch YouTube videos, and here's where I'm getting at. The information at our fingertips makes us feel like we either ought to or can do it ourselves. So being able to look shit up, thinking I know what I'm doing, allows me to, I don't know, somehow devalue what you're doing, because I like people hire me all the time and then tell me how to do my fucking job. Like I will do my thing and then they're
Do
like, that video, don't you think you should have highlighted the laundry room? So then I'm doing so much more explaining because
you know
now
who
I have
cares
to
about the
explain.
laundry room?
No, listen, well, for an example,
I'm
like,
kidding. I'm
but
kidding.
it's like that. Like it's seriously, people are like, I have had clients, send me cell phone pictures because they want their listing up fast. And I'm like, I promise you it's worth it to wait. Like you got one shot. Just wait for my professional to get out there. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
then the client has an opinion about the weather. So we can't take those pictures. So now we're delayed. It's a balancing act for sure. And I get Monday morning quarterbacked all the time. Now, I'm not perfect. I just had a client message me this morning that her lot size was incorrect on her listing. Now that pulls from public record. So somewhere there was a disconnect where the wrong figures were pulled. There's no way I could have known that. But I count on my
Oh,
client to catch something like that. I'm not telling
well,
you.
I just,
Did you
well,
say
no,
who?
no, no,
Oh,
I said,
oh,
ooh, because
oh.
I just had a realtor friend list his house as this was his acreage, because that's what it was when he purchased it legitimately.
Mm-hmm.
But the public records were showing different. He had to go down there. Apparently, there was a redrawing relative to some
Yep.
new GPS stuff, and it changed not only
Yep.
his but everybody's with the road work
Yep.
and all that. He had no idea
Yeah.
his acreage had shrunk.
So it for everybody out there, public record is notoriously incomplete and inaccurate. Just always. So always verify. And
Oh, speaking.
especially if you see a glaring error. Usually it doesn't matter. Like if the lot size is, let's say the public record
Why
says
don't we do surveys?
hold on, if the public record says the lot size is 90 by 92 and you're like, "Oh no, I have proof that it's 92 by 94." Nobody gives a fuck. But if it's a half acre off or you have a double lot and it's got a separate property tax ID, the public record's only going to pull that first property with the house on it. So you want to account for the description and add that second measurement, add them together
Um,
to get a full lot. It's devil's in the
I
details.
just had,
Yeah.
hey, I just had title work come back on a property. There's
Yeah.
a fucking second lot. The taxes for the second lot were not on any of the
Yep.
documents. This
I
is
had a,
your client, by the
you
way.
talking about Kelly?
No.
Who is it? Don't tell. Well, tell
I'll
me
email you about it
offline.
later. There's
Tell
a
me
whole second
offline.
parcel. So, okay, so we were talking about public records, and this,
Did it
I'm going
close?
back to something I
Did
wrote
it
down.
did it transfer
Nope,
at the sale? Who owns it?
it's not closed yet. It's still under contract. I'll tell you later. It's Ash's house. There's a second lot that showed
It
up.
should be in the
Second
pre-title
parcel.
work. The agent told
I
us that.
just got title. Anyway,
Oh,
That was
Okay.
not in the
I have
tax
not seen
data. So
title.
anyway, we were
Okay.
talking about the trades, and I had this idea like pop into my head. The communities are trying to fiscally find a way to make a renovation loan available to people. So
Yes.
my contention is the
Where do you
renovation loan
find the
available to
people?
people is insanely expensive. The interest rates are higher. They're going to refinance. It's a
Like a
way for banks to make more
203K?
money.
Yes.
You've got to find a
Good
contractor,
luck.
which you're not going to
That's
be able to do, who will
no.
do the work, right? So
Jump through the
actually, instead
hoops.
of trying to find this renovation loan so that banks can make money, they're trying
Mhm.
to spend HUD money. The communities should instead take that money and fucking train people in the trades and have a task force, a community carpentry fucking special task force that goes and can you go in and electrical, plumbing, painting, roofing,
You know who would be a
siding, like
really cool
literally
resource for
turns the
that?
fucking properties, and then
Yeah.
they could sell anyway.
Habitat for Humanity would be a good like partnership with what they're already doing. If you
Yeah,
could add in
but
that
that's all
profession,
volunteers.
I
But the
know,
trades would actually make as plus they'd be like run by the
training.
county or the city or whatever,
You
and I'm
could
sure some,
train
but
people
they
through
can
there.
they're going to train people to do the jobs. The people will get paid really well, like
Mhm.
because
And
it's
they're
a
getting
trade, and
skills.
trades are already in short supply. So why
Yeah.
are we not training people to
Yeah. Yeah.
rehab our housing supply that nobody wants to do? And even if you wanted to do it, motherfucker, you better pay cash for it. You're not getting a renovation loan. I mean,
Yeah.
I've had people go, "Can I get a renovation loan?" And I go, "Those are all suspended. They're way too risky, basically. And you're not going to find a contractor, and your uncle can't do it. I mean, like,
Yeah.
you
And that's
can't do
what,
that."
and
But
what, you know,
anyway,
what would be really cool is, and I don't know how you would do it, but what people want is access to the money to fund the repairs for them to do the repairs themselves. And that just doesn't exist. Like that's what people want. They want to buy a house without a
dude,
septic and they're like, I'll put that in. And you just can't because you can't
I know.
finance a house you can't live in. And a house without a septic is not livable.
Oh, I know. I get people who are like, "Well, I'll just do it when I move in." It doesn't work that way. The seller can do it now, or
Mm.
I mean, it doesn't. Oh, my favorite is they want to do that. I'm going to buy it for 80 grand. I'm going to put in a new roof, and then it should be worth 100,000. But I only need 10 grand for the roof, so it's like I'll have 10% down, so it'll be worth 100 when I'm done.
And the roof, just so you know, is not a value add. People expect a working roof.
No,
A new roof doesn't add a dime of value. It adds peace of mind. You might sell faster than your neighbor because yours
yeah,
has a new roof, but you're not going to get the 15 or 20 grand or whatever you spent on your roof.
the
Even if it's a
appraisers
gold
amortize
roof.
it over the life of the roof, which is 20 to 25 years. Like
Yeah.
it's supposed to have a roof
Yeah.
that doesn't leak.
Yep.
But anyway, I think
Yeah.
maybe
People,
if the
people,
communities,
people like tell me about their new roofs and their new furnaces and their new air conditioners and their new plumbing, not the new fixtures, the paint, the new, yeah, not the granite, because, and it's smart to take care of those things, but they don't really add value. They add peace of mind. So that does translate to a little bit of value, but it's not like, it's not doing what you think it's going to do. You're supposed to
you know,
have, it's like, you know what it's like? It's like that Chris Rock bit where he's like
I know
bragging
you're
about
supposed to
going to jail.
take care
You're
of your
not,
kids.
yeah, you're not supposed to go to jail.
Yeah,
It's like that.
that's
And
it.
this actually dovetails right into the long term rental. Because if you are a homeowner, these are costs that you are going to pay over and above your lower than rent mortgage. But guess what? If you're renting, you don't have to put a new roof on your house. But that's,
True.
now I got to touch that conversation too. What were you going to say?
Um, I don't
While you
remember
say
what
it,
I was
I'm going
going
to
to say.
show this just because I said I
Oh,
would.
I was going to say all of the repairs that people do in the most expensive ones. I got new windows. I got a new roof,
Yes.
right? And like the electrical got upgraded. I did plumbing. I put in a septic. All of these things are
Yes.
supposed to happen, and you're not getting dollar for dollar. Basically, take the
No.
cost you spent, divide it by 240 months, right? I mean, like
Yeah.
by 20 years. But the things that will bring you value are
Yes.
the things that are subject to personal opinion. Like, I don't give a
Yes.
fuck what color the roof is unless I made it pink. It's going to be black or brown or gray, and it doesn't really matter, right? I don't care what
Yes.
the plumbing is made of, as long as it's not corrosive and it's going to poison me.
Right.
You know, that kind of stuff, the really expensive stuff nobody cares about. But
Yeah.
a new kitchen, say you drop 40 grand on a new kitchen and you put in a sparkle blue granite countertop because it's your favorite. You did spend 30 grand and it will probably give you some return, but now at this point you valued it
And
because you did it totally a personal thing.
this
But the
ties into
kitchens give more value.
this
Anyway.
ties in, well, it ties into the wedding dress analogy. Remember my Vera Wang
Oh,
analogy?
yes.
I am
Yes.
going to spend 30 grand on a dress for my body, and it's going to be beautiful, and it's going to be sparkle blue because I love sparkle blue, and I'm going to get married in that dress, and I am not going to be able to turn around and sell it to anybody for more than that at all, because anybody buying a used dress
Right.
wants a deal. And two, it was made for me, not you. So somebody might love the fabric and want to buy it so they could turn that fabric into a jumpsuit or something.
So what's the weird same thing with like okay, so well this isn't one, but like wedding rings, can I just like tangent for a second?
Yes. Oh
Like
my
I
God.
could
I
go
tried
to
to
Zales or fucking wherever, Hellsberg, whatever, and
shout out to Cooper
fall
and
in love
Binkley.
with what?
Sorry. I said shout out to Cooper and Binkley for the best engagement and wedding rings in
Oh,
Brighton.
for the best
I
in
love Barb.
engagement
Yeah.
rings. Um, but like, so I could go to one of those, like a brand new store and
Mm-hmm.
pay 10 grand, or I could go to the pawn shop and buy
Yep.
a legit real diamond, same size for 2000.
500, 600. Yeah.
It's
2000.
been used. How does metal and a fucking rock, you know what I mean? Why does the used value of something so
It's programming. The
uh,
same reason,
it's so dumb. It's
the
so
same
dumb.
reason Mark and I bought a new mattress. I'll just put that
Oh,
in
well,
there.
those wear out over time. A ring does not wear
I
out
know.
over
I
time.
know.
I mean,
I'm trying to use it as a reference point just to put in that piece, that weird voodoo piece, because people get weird and jealous. Because I agree with you. I don't know. My ring's pretty awesome though. I mean,
it's not there. I
I
can't see
know.
it. It's invisible.
I
My
know.
ring's invisible. It looks like I have one. It's just a tattoo.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, but I will tell you, I tried to sell my wedding ring from the bad one, and nobody will
Let
buy
me
it.
guess. They didn't give you what? Oh, I was going to say, I thought you were going to say
No,
they wouldn't give
I
me
was
what I thought
selling
it
it
was
for
worth.
dirt cheap, $300. Like
Why
for
wouldn't they
under,
buy it?
for less than $300, I'll just give it to one of his kids or one of my kids, or donate it to a charity fucking fundraiser or something.
Melt it down and make a tooth out of it.
No. Okay, now we're touching on the same reason. I don't want that thing in my mouth. Yuck. It's got cooties on it. It's tainted,
You
contaminated by
mentally
bad
see it.
juju. Yes, it's
Fair
that
enough.
mental thing. How did we get here? What are we supposed to be talking about? Fear of missing out, fear
We
of
were
paying
talking
too
about
much,
FOMO, fear of paying too much, housing
FOPTOMO.
shortage. We talked about all these things. The houses are there. You're going to lose one of your circles of
Yes.
desire,
Yes. Oh,
but
so
aren't
I'm
we
gonna
all in
let
all
me
things?
yes. Well, let me put this back up. So the share screen I
Oh,
did have
yes,
a
I'm sorry.
second ago. That's okay. No. I think this does a decent job of kind of doing for a different industry what we're doing, what we're talking about. So he's got, this is funny, Crazy Larry's used cars from Screwed Over. That makes me laugh. And it's 123 Anywhere
It's
Street, not Main
anywhere
Street.
street.
Not Main Street.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, so this is a visual representation of our three circles. He's going with the four square. So you modify the down payment, that will change your monthly payment. The purchase price, I guess, would be negotiated up front. And in this case, it's a trade in car. Okay, so this works for houses too. If you have your current home,
Yeah.
purchase price of your new home, Cassandra, you would be in these two squares, modify the down payment, which will impact the monthly payment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was the other. Okay, so this is good, and I'm going to stop sharing because what?
You're going to hit the thing. You're going to do the per dollar per whatever. I know
Yes.
what you're going to do.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
as a real estate agent for years, I've used this mental reference for quick and dirty math on the fly because I'm not a lender. But when I look at a house and my client has interest, I need some tools to get in the range. So I always use a $5 per thousand. If I'm dealing with a client that I know has maybe a rougher kind of credit situation, I might do $5.50 per thousand. And then I can look at the taxes and kind of add the taxes and insurance. But interest rates are so low, my $5.50 per thousand doesn't work anymore. So I wanted to ask you, what's a good number for me to use on the fly? Understanding that
Uh,
obviously you can't commit to
close,
this.
closer to 4. So I tell people when they're putting money down, people
Yes.
go, well, I might put more money down. And I
Why?
go, okay, keep in mind, for every $10,000 you bring, your monthly payment will change by $40. And they
Yep.
go,
Yeah.
and I go, I know. So if you're making more than $40 a month on your $10,000, or you're going to pay a penalty of some kind, you're probably better off keeping it there. And the Fed just said they plan to keep the rates low till like 2023 because they think it's going to be like a 2-year rebound for the coronavirus stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I am a huge advocate of put as little down as possible.
Yeah.
And unless
Even
you're
just
going
to
to
keep,
die in the house,
even if you're not,
I mean,
so I'll throw a secondary because there's in the back of my head, I know on paper, if I'm making more than $40 on my $10,000, I should keep it. But what if I'm
mm-hmm.
not? Well, then let's have a conversation about cash flow because if that's your last $10,000, even if you're not, it's in your mattress, you're not making a dime on it. It still might make sense for you to have it because then you have the cash flow if you need it. I'm just saying it's not
Well, there's
just,
that mental I need money for an emergency. If
yeah,
anybody listens to Susie Orman or literally any financial advisor and they say 6 months, you should have 6 months. You want to know why? Because fucking shit like this.
yeah,
Like you need to have money in your account because water heaters break.
roof,
I mean, just shit happens.
trees
Roof,
fall into your
water
roof.
heater, windows. Exactly. A kid throws a baseball. It's like 1950 or whatever.
Mhm.
And windows are being broken
Kid
by the
throws a
neighborhood kids. But
baseball.
literally, but your tires. Say you lose a tire. Say you need tires. They're like $800 to buy a set of tires. Like shit happens in life, which is why you're better off keeping your money
Yeah.
for an emergency because oh, here's 10 grand, save me
Yeah.
$40 a month. Fucking pay off your car and save $300 a month on that payment
So,
or whatever. But anyway,
yeah.
but I'm not a financial advisor.
Well, let's finish that because talking about these insanely low interest rates alongside insanely low inventory, it's kind of interesting how like if you just put over a filter that you're going to pay one way or the other because yes, interest rates are low, so you can afford more house, but houses are really
Mm-hmm.
expensive right now. And what happens when
Yeah.
housing prices go down is there's a lot more choices and interest rates go up, so you can't afford as much house. Like so your fear of missing out is really just a fear of, well, no, I shouldn't say that because there is a drive to do something because you're afraid you're not going to be able to do something.
It matters if you're paying cash. If you're financing it, I would say your mental block that by overpaying by
Yeah.
$25,000 is a load of fucking shit
Yeah.
because rates are way lower and it's
Yeah.
probably going to result in the same monthly payment. You just mentally can't get around that you
Yes.
think it's worth 200 and not 225.
Yeah.
But pricing is up in the state of Michigan like
Yes.
6.3%
Yes.
on average. And
On
I'm
average.
including the fucking UP in that.
Yes.
Downstate, like your neck of the woods,
More.
and
17.
over here by me, I was gonna say we're 10 to 20% higher. So
Yeah.
if it's 10% more or whatever, I
Yeah.
guarantee you have your loan officer price
You
it
know
at
what it is?
last year's interest rate versus now and
Yes.
go, oh, it's within $10 a month.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter for the
It's
monthly
very
payment
much
anyway.
like you know, bitching about the price of gas. Like it is what it is. I know that I used to buy gas for under $1 a gallon. That
Yeah.
does me no good to stand outside a gas pump and go, I'm not paying $2.20. It's just
Back in my day,
this isn't worth more than 98 cents. Well, that's not true. So if the house you want is, you know,
good analogy.
competitive,
True.
If it's listed at 275 and it's a competitive situation and you want it, you are only hurting yourself by walking away because it's not worth it. Well, that's bullshit because the market is telling you it is worth it. It's selling. Oh God, we're so far over time. I didn't even get to touch on these things from a seller perspective. I'm seeing a pitfall for sellers really overpricing their properties and then getting mad that they're not getting multiple offers. Like, you don't just get multiple offers by putting your house on the market. You have to price correctly.
Dude, the house right over there in my my neighborhood, it went live, and I was like, what? I mean, it's legit in my mind, and I live here, priced about $100,000 too much.
Is it
It's
getting
pending,
activity?
so I'm super. Oh no, it's been on the market a long time where everything else goes up and is pending immediately. But this one, it's finally pending now. I am very
Let's see.
interested
Can you tell me
to
the
see
address?
how much. No, it hasn't sold yet. Can you see the
I know.
pending offer?
No,
Can you see what they're pending at?
No, but I want to see the house and how much it's listed at. Just tell me the address.
Oh, I'll send you the link. We have to be done. We're running late, and I got Bennett in here sneaking in the room going,
oh, Bennett, come here.
Get her out. No,
her.
she's already out. No, she's already out.
Like Anna, that's usually my
She
trigger.
just walked out like this.
Oh, you're
hard roll. It was a God damn it, woman.
Right.
Roll.
Okay. So. Well, tell her Aunt Rachel loves her, and let's do this again next week. Everybody who is able to watch, thank you for joining us at our new day. Oh my God, I'm like, the words are in there.
I love you.
I love you too. Bye. See you guys next Friday, 10:30.
Bye.